thanks, Jim, for being here. So we're very interested in the subjects you've been working on. Can you tell us a little bit more about design thinking that you've been working on?
Sure, yeah. Thank you for the invitation to come, and I've enjoyed my time here. Design thinking is a methodological approach that is for complex problem solving, and that problem solving is really around ill-defined problems that don't have any definite answer to them, and you work through a series of steps in order to solve them in a creative way, and it defines the world of design and creativity in that problem-solving approach. One of the characteristics of design thinking is it's very much grounded in empathy, which is really understanding who a person is, what their particular problems are, what their viewpoints are, and trying to adapt and understand the problem from their perspective.
So it's not only a design issue.
Yes, it's really an overall approach to how you solve problems.
How did you get into these concepts?
I studied architecture, and I wasn't very interested in the pragmatic aspect of architecture, but very interested in the way of thinking and applying that thinking and problem-solving technique to a wide variety of problems. And so then began investigating through medical informatics and the study of that, how design could be applied in those particular areas.
Right, and I know you've been working in administration at the University of Utah. Do you use that methodology? Does it help?
Yes, very much so. If you think about higher education, it is a very complex system with a lot of different pieces and parts that you have to manage. And design thinking allows for integrating all of those different perspectives while at the same time keeping the student at the center for their experience. And so then being able to understand and use methodologies from design to work through some of those techniques has been incredibly useful.
So we were talking about these chances to use this approach, and last week we were together in one of the design classes here at the Universidad del Litoral, and it was amazing for me to see that actually that exchange you could have with our students and professors. What did you think of that experience?
I thought it was great, and it was an affirmation of the design thinking process, again, that it is really an overarching methodology for problem solving that your students were using too, and very similar to our students in the United States, following that process of first doing research, understanding the context of the problem, then finding a particular opportunity so that the students could investigate and create an artifact, then going through an ideation phase where they generate multiple options, and then the design refinement where then they hone their design in for one particular solution. And it was really amazing to see the great projects the students had worked on.
Well, I think they were very excited to see actually this approach is not only being suggested by their professor, but it's being used all around the world.
Yeah, used in industry and also as a storytelling practice for designers to work in different areas so that they can again show the relevance of their design and tell a story about it and build a context and a meaning behind particular design interventions.
Yeah, I think one of the challenge would be to concentrate on the research phase of this approach. What would you recommend students or professors how to focus on that? Because in your conference, you stressed that aspect.
Yeah, I think the research is one of the most important areas, and it's often the most underappreciated and utilized, particularly in design practices. And it really forms the basis for how you make decisions about what the design is, who you're designing for, what the context is. And so So, some techniques are really to think about gathering as much information as possible. In today's day and age, it's really easy to gather information, to pull it from the internet, and to build this database of information so that then you can make decisions from it. Much like experience, go out and experience the world, bring as much back, and then you have a much wider range of information to choose from.
Yeah, that's great. I think we have a lot to learn and continue working together. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the invitation, and it was great chatting with you.